Hey, um, do you know a gamer? Are you a gamer? I am a gamer, and the last, I would say, week or two have been rough for us gamers. So in case, so the whole point of this video is I want to reach out to gamers who are not in the know, who's not on the internet necessarily, checking out gaming news. And I want to tell you that there's some important stuff that you probably need to know, and it would be good if you also looked into it yourself. Now, let's get to it. Right here, I've got PlayStation blog, and on here, July 1st this year, they posted this. Physical disc production ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. Now, this is massive news, and this will have consequences and ramifications for, if not just PlayStation, maybe all of gaming. So stick with me now. In response to shifting trends in consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. As consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical disc to digital, physical game discs production for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting February 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. Now, so what does that mean? Well, it means all new games releasing in the future after January 2028 will be not available on disc. It also means that the upcoming PlayStation 6 system is most likely not going to have a disk drive. And for the time being, any copies of the game that you can buy at a retailer, at a store, basically, will only be, a key card in a box. So a box with no game in it, really. So it's just a download code for the PlayStation Store. And Sony says this is consumer preference, and I guess we'll get back to that soon. Let's continue. Now, this is on The Verge. PlayStation Disc Factory is already being repurposed. Sony already invested the cash to convert its last disc-making factory. And I've got, oh my god, excuse me. Now, I got this highlighted here. Sony been planning to kill it for some time, according to a report out of Austria. The man who leads Sony's disc-making operations, Sony DADC president, told ORF Salzburg that the company's plant produces 600,000 discs every day, half of which are for PlayStation. And yeah, they're gonna make something else now. And the workers at this factory, this plant, they got to know about this exactly the same time as the internet did. So, yeah. Hooray. Now here we got some data sheet on Reset Era that are from the Insomniac leak that happened some time ago. So, of course, these numbers are going to be, outdated, but there are still numbers that are for this current generation of consoles. And just to, take a few examples after this, Returnal sold 39% digital at this time. Death Stranding had sold 11% digital at this time. And Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, 24% digital at this time, whenever this leak happened. which I believe is like 2023 or 24. Not entirely sure. It's been a while. And of course, PlayStation is doing well. They're breaking like apparently profit records and stuff. And this was posted here on Tech Insider, June 15th. PlayStation 5 hits 93 million console units sold. And that's huge. That's really good. And now we're going to complicate things a little bit, because I think Sony are skewing the numbers for whatever they are presenting to people these days, at least. They have been saying something like 80% of sales are of software sales are digital, and that might not be entirely a lie, so to say, but I think they're skewing the numbers and doing some trickery here. We'll get into that. I of course don't know the exact numbers for sales as things are today, but here, this article from 2024 October. Disc edition make up 82% of all PlayStation 5 console sales. I guess that's a lot of people who likes playing games on disc, Sony, wouldn't you say? And then there's this. This is on IXPT Games. This is about the disk drive attachment for digital PlayStation systems. Important notice. No, that's not the part that we are interested in. Let's see. Due to high demand, there's a limit of 1 per order. So 82%, or whatever the number is now, that it was 82% at some time, at some point. And afterwards, supposedly there's a demand for disk drive attachment for PlayStation 5s. No going to, the remaining 18% of digital systems, and they can't meet that demand. Does that make sense to you? I think Sony are skewing the numbers here. And what I think is happening is they want to present a narrative that physical games are on the way out, which of course digital have been, more and more, it has been a trend for sure, but physical I don't think is really going away. I don't think that's really true to say that it is overwhelmingly the consumer preference. While I don't think physical is only 20% of games sold, really. So this puzzle, it doesn't add up. Yeah. So I think what Sony might be doing is they're counting all digital software, including maybe microtransactions and DLC and add-ons and stuff like that for games. And of course, there are games that are only available in a digital format. But as we saw from the Insomniac leak, games that had both a digital and a physical, release, they did pretty good selling physical units, I would say. And I don't think that has changed too much, over the past 2 or 3 years, whatever it is, really. That's what I think. And you should know that the internet is completely boiling over this. This is a huge issue. The backlash to Sony is massive, it seems like. But it doesn't end here, unfortunately. Now this is from Game Rant, and I think they have this article in English as well. It just comes up as in Norwegian for me. What it is about, and this was posted recently, June 26th. PlayStation Store deletes 551 digital purchases, offers no refunds. And this is the whole thing about people who bought movies and TV shows on Studio Canal or on PlayStation Network, titles that were licensed to Sony from Studio Canal. They are being taken away from them in September. And also, I should say that like, how can they get away with this? This is insane. They're going into people's library and deleting access, deleting the files, deleting movies and shows from their systems, I assume. They're being delisted. And they're also being taken away. And the customers are going to have, not going to have those titles anymore that they bought, purchased, not rent, purchased. And that brings us to this as well. Now, this is on PlayStation.com, and this is PlayStation Software Application End User License Agreement, software terms. So this is basically the agreement that you have to read through and sign, quote unquote, for every game that you purchase. And I think this actually applies to, I'm not sure this applies to physical games. I think maybe it does. In any case, I have highlighted a paragraph here. The software is licensed to you on these software terms. It's not sold for you to own. And you understand and agree that we may end online and network features of a software that uses online servers. We will provide reasonable advanced notice of any end of online services. If we discontinue any online services, you may still access any offline modes we provide for the software. However, offline modes are not guaranteed and may change or end at our discretion. Do you get it now? So not only is this in the license agreement, but Sony recently acted on this and took away or are going to take away movies from customers in the near future that they bought on the PlayStation Store. So basically what this means is you have no rights, you don't own everything. Whatever you purchase is not for you to keep. And we can take it away from you. And you have no say in it. That's basically what it means. Now, there's even more skeletons in this, so hang on. This is on comicbook.com, and it's from July 4th this year. And here it says, if you have not used your account for at least 36 months, we may take steps to close it. In that case, we will contact you via or through the email address registered to your account and give you 6 months to either log into your account or contact us to tell us to keep your account open. Yeah, sure. No, how many people are going to not log into their PlayStation account for 3 years? But it can happen. And they're telling you that your account, your digital library, your trophies, everything, it is at their discretion. Now, even more stuff. A hacker targets high-profile PlayStation podcaster, raising concerns about account security. Sacred Symbols podcast host Colin Moriarty recently received a bizarre warning. Quote, Colin, I'm just warning you. They have your information and they are going to try to take your account today. Unquote. Sure enough, the ex-IGN editor and Kind of Funny Games co-founder PlayStation account was hacked shortly after, and he was locked out of a library of hundreds of digital games and account history built up over decades. Now, so Colin, he lost all his digital library, he lost his trophies and his saves. Luckily for Colin, he got it back. Sony did help him. But I'm happy for him that he got it back. But this is not apparently what Sony does typically, because Colin has heard complaints from his audience for, I assume, many years. I listened to his podcast as well. And it's a big issue that Sony isn't helping people who get their accounts lost or stolen or stuff like that. And add to that Sony can just close your account at their discretion. It seems it's insane. So I've got him here. So let's see what the man himself has to say about this.
I'm like, these are your people that were there so early and so enthusiastic that they got A, B, C.
Right.
They got ocean or rock or like just crazy names. I'm like, do you understand that you had to have been there like the first second to get these names? These are your people. And you have left them out to dry. So these people get their names, their accounts stolen for multiple reasons. They want the name, and they want what would presumably be a digital games catalog going back to 2006. So like potentially tens of thousands of dollars of games. And no matter what group or silo you fall into, you kind of experience a similar problem, which is Sony doesn't seem to give a shit. And at some point, they are like, we can't help you anymore.
Because of the deadlock.
Right, exactly.
That's a big part of that.
Right. And I'm like, this is unacceptable. And that's why I want to say that I have two goals. And this is what I said on Twitter. There's the whole thing of like, who did it? I was using this reference with people I was talking to at Sony where I'm like, and other people, I was having meetings with other people too, where I was like, do you guys know about the whole Kia thing about how Kias are easy to boost? Do you guys know anything about this?
Yeah. A little bit.
Car
I've heard
boys.
this before,
Yeah, right, exactly. Like there's something about Kias and I think Hyundais.
Kia boys, that's it.
Where like they're easy to steal. And I'm like, okay. Or they probably fixed it by now. But it's like, okay. You can go after the people stealing the cars. And that's interesting and useful and maybe you can do that. But what you really have to do is make sure the car can't get stolen anymore. And then you worry about everything else. I don't want to use like a political example. It's just the only example I can think of. Is like, it's like immigration. If you have to stop the inflow before you deal with what's here. Otherwise, you just have this roving sieve of water, right? Coming and going. So I'm not even really sure where to go. It's like, I just can't believe that people are left out to dry like this. And one of the major things, so back to what I was saying was, I'm not even worried about who did it. It's interesting. People are looking into that. Sony on their side is certainly investigating things. Our people in our community have found a lot of interesting things based on the information we've given them as well. But I have two goals. The first is we have to convince Sony to stop this from happening. The so-called closing of the border, right? In my clumsy analogy. Make sure that just stop this, right? Like you have to stop this. You can't allow this to go on like this. And then the second thing is reunifying people with their stolen accounts, because that's the thing that makes my heart so heavy, because I felt it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like laughing with Sony on the phone where I'm like, I know it sounds so lame, but like my whole life's kind of wrapped up in that account. It's not a joke to me. I've had this PSN account since 2006. Actually, this particular account since 2008. And when trophies came out and I started like earning trophies. And I was saying this to people too, is like, and we'll get into a little bit of this, is like, I want to be honest about all things. And what I will say is that I didn't think once about my library. I know that that's like a rare thing. Like, and people will be like, what are you talking about? Like, that's all that matters. And I'm like, I'm not going to play any of these games again. I don't really give a shit. I want to keep them. I should own them forever as a license, and I don't want to lose them. It's nice to have them. I'll go back to some of them. But what I was thinking about was like my trophies and my saves. Like unique things about timestamps and experiences and where you were and all that. And it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And my heart is so heavy. I've talked extensively with people that have had their accounts stolen. How it happened, why, and I'm keeping these people's names private, and some of them have been incredibly helpful. And I want to put some of these people in touch with Sony as well. But my second goal after they shut it down is to say, like, can we get, it's not can, it's like, let's get these people their accounts back. Because that's the thing that really bothers me. So people are, maybe we should have explained this too, is like, well, what is the goal of stealing these accounts? And it's like, well, sometimes it's to fuck with you, but often it's to sell. And that's the fucking craziest part of all. Right? I mean, really think about that. That's what Mike and I were talking about this. I'm like, just think about this. An account is boosted from one of your customers, sold on the black market to someone else who now logs into this account for years. Years. Sony doesn't even shut it down. They're just like, yeah, it's over now. That account's, that guy owns that account now. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? You have the controls in front of you. Shut it down. Shut the account down. At least kick the people out of it. Like, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? These are your customers. How can you just throw them away like that? Because that's the thing that I was trying to impress on them too, and I think that they do understand, is like, a person who has bought 4 games and has 1,000 trophies might not give it too much of a shit. They also haven't given you very much. So like, you let them loose, fine. You're going to let the guy loose with 20,000 trophies and $10,000 worth of games, or $20,000 or $30,000 worth of games. Who do you think you are? And then you'll point at something like the EULA and say like, well, it says here, we can shut you down for any reason we want. We can remove the licenses for any reason we want. And this is that reason, I guess. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. I don't care what it says. The EULA says that you can't have class action suits against them, and yet we just talked about a class action suit Sony lost. So certainly there's ways around that. It should never come anywhere close to that, because this should be the thing that is the most secure. And the one thing I also said was, and I think we could all say that, I mean, I've said they're selling a handheld PlayStation 6 that is digital only next generation. We've had things like the PSP Go, we've had things like PlayStation TV, but this is the first truly digital only device. You have to get it together, and I am going to beat this drum. Like, there is no other way around it. So stop this from happening. That's our first goal. We have to convince Sony, and I'm working hard. I'm on the phone. I am making myself available. I am using everything I can to say, like, you got to do something about this. And the second thing is, you got to unify the people who lost their accounts with their accounts. The answer cannot be you lost your account through no fault of your own, or you lost the account through phishing, or whatever. Your account got stolen. Too bad. Start again. Goodbye to your games. Goodbye to your trophies. Goodbye to your saves. Sorry, we have to take the next call at our Indonesian call center. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? It's got to change.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fucking shit show. So that's it. I mean, that's basically, I think, I'm looking at my notes. I don't think this is, in my opinion, and maybe it's dramatic, the most important thing they have to do right now. Because goodbye to your games, goodbye.
Yeah. Right. Now, let's have a look at this, shall we? Even more skeletons. This is also on Game Rant, and this is from July 8th. Sony CEO just sold over half of his stock. Amid the fallout from PlayStation's announcement that it will halt physical disc manufacturing in 2028, SEC filings reveal that Sony CEO Hiroki Totoki sold over half of his stock shortly after this news broke. Some fans have been vocally opposed to Sony stopping physical disc production, and they have cancelled their PlayStation Plus subscriptions in response, and in hopes that the company listens. Now, this has been a massive outrage on the internet, and I think deservedly so. Let's have a look at PlayStation's YouTube channel. Here's something they posted an hour ago, a game trailer from when I'm making this, whatever game this is. And just look at the comments. The comments are full of people complaining about mostly the physical disc issue. Some are bringing up the issue of ownership and consumer rights, and maybe even here and there are some people complaining about the security and the whole account thing. And of course I'm thumbing down everything on this YouTube channel, and maybe you should as well. And all the responses to the video is about people being upset, deservedly so, I would say. No disc, no buy. No CD, no PlayStation. So yeah, that's not great, and this has been going on since the news broke, basically, and maybe even some people have gone into trailers in the past before that even to post about this. So we can pick, go to this here and just pick something random like Mortal Shell 2 and not play the whole damn thing. 2 days ago, we want disc, not Monopoly. I agree. And even other companies have been dunking on Sony, like Domino's Pizza famously have dunked on Sony, telling people that in response to what's going on in the gaming industry, that they will only sell digital pizzas, which is funny. But gamers, PlayStation fans that are in the know are not happy. I am not happy. I was absolutely boiling over this news, and you should be livid as well. So what can we do? Or more importantly, what does all this mean? For a long time, it's the physical games. It's multifaceted. It's apparently still popular, despite Sony saying otherwise. And the physical copies of games are important for the consumer, because you can buy used, you can lend and borrow and trade your games, you can sell your games. When the game is on the disc, you can keep it forever, and Sony can't knock on your door and come in and take your games from you. So there's a ownership and preservation aspect to all of this. And where I see this going is PlayStation eventually are going to probably stop selling game key cards in a box, for the PlayStation Store at retailers at some point. So they're gonna be a monopoly, and they've been practicing dynamic pricing for a while. If you don't know what that is, you should look into it. But basically, they're making making algorithms determine how much you should pay for your games on the PlayStation Store. And they're more often than not are charging you full price for a game that's even older, like $70 or your regional equivalent, full price. But at the same time, if you look for a physical copy online, some people have made some comparisons of the PlayStation Store price to Amazon and Walmart and similar. And if you look into it, you shall see that a lot of the time you can get the games for a lot cheaper, even half the price of what PlayStation are charging on PlayStation Store. And you know, the EULAs, the end user agreement, and Sony removing content that people have purchased. It's a shit show, man. What that tells me as a customer, as a fan, is Sony don't care. They're gonna take games away from you at their discretion. If it happens to movies, it can happen to games. They have delisted games before. Famously, Drive Club, PlayStation 4 racing game made by a first-party studio. It's not on the PlayStation Store anymore, and the only way that you can get a hold of the game now is to find a used physical copy, basically. And I am happy to have that on disc myself. It's a great game. But yeah, not only can games disappear and not be available for purchase anymore, but they can remove them altogether from people's libraries. And, you know, the whole Studio Canal thing shows that Sony are not... They're not refraining from doing so. So they don't care. You don't own anything. Give us money, fuck you, bitch. That's basically what they're saying. You have no rights, and we don't care about you. The whole account thing, that they can shut down your account if you're inactive and lose all your library, all your trophies. If you're banned or, you know, get your account stolen or hacked, or not... You simply just lose everything that you have digitally. And damn, dude. Okay, so that's how we treat customers now. So yeah, of course discs are not perfect. Some physical games have a DRM, digital rights management software on them, and that's an issue as well. But I think what needs changing here, what Sony needs to do is to let you know, continue making and pressing physical copies. They need to do something about the user's ownership or rights, like give us more rights and protection. If not outright ownership, we should be able to keep our games forever when we purchase them. I understand, of course, that when you buy a game, you don't own the IP. You don't own... let's say if you buy Gran Turismo, you don't own Gran Turismo as a whole, you know, as, you know, intellectual property. Of course you don't, but you should own the game. You should have the game, and it should be yours to keep. And they shouldn't be able to come in and pick it out of your library and, you know, throw it away. But games on disc are still important for preservation. Of course, PlayStation is a closed ecosystem. It's not like on PC. Of course, I play video games on both PlayStation and PC. I play PlayStation exclusives and whatever free games they've given me over time, subscribing to PlayStation Plus. And maybe one or two digital games here or there that haven't been available physically. But yes, mostly I play on PC these days. And you will say, but PC is mostly digital. Of course it is, but it is different because PC is an open platform. It's not closed down like PlayStation or Xbox is. And you know, there's competition on PC. There's multiple stores. There's good old games that even sell DRM-free games. Steam sells you games. Of course, some of those games have DRM, but you know, Steam have my goodwill. They're not treating us and doing stuff like PlayStation are doing. So for now, I'm happy with Steam. I support Steam in that sense. And there's even more stores, of course. Microsoft has a Xbox store, and Epic Games have the Epic store, and you know, all the rest of it. itch.io. And if anything happens on PC, you know, a game gets delisted and taken from you, there is always eye patches and hats. I will say that. So there are ways around, you know, to keep preserving games and, you know, keep games around on PC. And what Sony basically is doing, they're ignoring the fans, ignoring the customers. They're not responding to us. They haven't said anything that pertains to the issue, the elephant in the room. And I think that they are thinking that they can get away with this. So I'm hoping that we gamers can band together, because this is important for the future of video games, for our rights, for preservation of games. That we band together and take a stand, draw a line in the sand and say, you can't cross this line. You're overstepping. Because I think Sony clearly are overstepping and treating us like garbage. So what can we do? Well, cancel your PlayStation Plus subscription, like cancel the renewal. Don't give Sony any more money. Don't buy any new games. Don't buy DLC. Don't buy microtransactions. Don't buy a PlayStation, or don't buy a new PlayStation console. Buy used games. Don't give them any money. You can keep your old system. You can keep your PS5 if you have one. You can keep your old games and enjoy them. But I'm asking you to consider to not subscribe to the PlayStation Plus service and not give them any money. Basically, buy used. And you can give them feedback. Of course, they don't respond to any of us. Not on YouTube, not on Twitter, not anywhere. They haven't come out and given any statements that pertains to the issue or issues. But right here I have the PlayStation phone app. And if you go to settings up here, up there, the first thing is you can give Sony feedback for the app. What they basically want to know is how to improve the app, how you like the app, stuff like that. But it lets you write to them, and it lets I did so. So partake in that survey and tell them to fuck off, fuck right off, and screw you for treating your customers like garbage and everything else. I think I told them everything that they need to hear in, you know, my response in that survey. And that's it. You know, let's not have Sony get away with this, because clearly they think they can. They don't have any competition really from Xbox, which is terrible. Nintendo is off doing their own thing, and they don't think any of us are gonna migrate to PC. I'm most of the way there anyway. I just kept PlayStation around for exclusives, basically. But you know, I've grown up with PlayStation. I played video games basically since I was maybe 3 or 4 years old, so for like 30 years now. And yeah, this is the the straw that breaks the camel's back for me. I can't stand by and do nothing. I won't support Sony anymore. This is the end for me unless they make changes, unless they make good on the customers, unless they start treating us better and have a proper customer support and give people their accounts back and gives us more protections and rights. Don't take away our libraries. Don't go into our libraries and pick out games because for whatever reason at their discretion, as they say. And yeah, to keep physical games around because I think that's important as well. So yeah, that's basically all I have, I think. Also, yeah, actually, they're closing the PlayStation Store for PlayStation Vita and PlayStation 3, and I'm not too happy about that either. So I guess if you have those systems, buy some used games, download every patch and stuff like that. I'm not sure what the future brings after they close the store. You will probably be able to download patches and stuff for some time, but you won't be able to buy any digital games. So I guess in that sense I will agree that maybe it's okay to buy PlayStation 3 games for the time being. If you were interested in any of them and they're not available on disc, yeah. But I hope that you will consider not giving Sony any more money and prepare to walk away from the company in its entirety, really. At this rate, I'm not going to get a PlayStation 6. And I think the whole entire company can burn down, and they can throw all the PlayStation 6s in the landfill, basically. That's how I feel anyway. Yeah. So have a good rest of your day, and goodbye.